talking in my sleep at night, making myself crazy. Out of my mind, out of my mind. Wrote it down and read it out, hoping it would save me. Too many times, too many times. My love, he makes it feel like nobody else, nobody else. But my love, he doesn't love me, so I tell myself, one, don't pick up the phone, you know he's only calling cause he's drunk and alone. Two, don't let him in, you have to kick him out again. Three, don't be his friend, you know you're gonna wake up in his bed in the morning. And if you're under him, you ain't getting over him. I got no rules, I count him. I got no rules, I count him. I gotta tell love to myself. I got no rules, I count him. I tell myself, I do. One, don't pick up the phone, you know he's only calling cause he's drunk and alone. Two,
How to play New Rules by Dua Lipa with your Ample Sound virtual instrument collection. It's coming up right now. Hi friends, William Nolens here, back for another video. If you haven't done so, you can subscribe to the channel so once a week you get a new and fresh tutorial on how to play with Ample Sound virtual instruments. So today we're going to make a VST guitar and a VST bass guitar cover of Dua Lipa's best-selling title, aka New Rules. And as you may know, New Rules is not really a guitar song, it's a mix between tropical house and EDM. So it was mostly produced with electronic drums, synth plugins and electronic basses, not really a guitar. So it means that what you heard at the start of the video and what we're going to program with Ample Sound instruments is a remake of the song made with an acoustic guitar and an electric bass guitar. So this tutorial is not really about how to play New Rules per se, but rather it's a tutorial about how to make a cover of the song with Ample Sound virtual instruments. So open your favorite DAW, open your favorite Ample bass guitar and your favorite Ample guitar VST, and let's do some cool music. So first part of the video, I'm going to show you two bass lines that I have designed for the introduction and the chorus. So let's start with the first one. So the song follows a very simple chord progression, which is A minor, G major and F major. Concerning the bass, I'm going to use Ample Bass Yinyang. I'm going to Riffer, and before we start, let's make sure that the quantization value is set at 4/4, that the time signature is set at 1/16, that the tempo is set at 116 BPM, and that we have 4 measures opened in the grid. Once you have it all set up properly, we're going to insert a new note on string number 3. So I'm going to click, hold and drag it up until I have an A2 note. I'm going to extend the value of this note so it lasts 2 measures. And to add a bit of style to it, I'm going to the articulation menu and I'm going to select slide in, which is going to change the way the note is plucked and which is going to emulate a sliding movement with the finger. Then I'm coming back to measure number 1 and I'm going to insert a C3 note. So I click on string number 2, I go to the menu and I select the pitch, which needs to be a C3. And that note must be triggered in anticipation of the second beat, right there. And again, I'm going to extend the note's value until the end of measure number 2. Up next, I'm going to insert a third note, which is going to be a G3 note. So I click on string number 1, I hold, I drag it up till I got that G3 note and I extend it until the end of the second measure. Now for the second part of the introduction, I'm going to select everything I have in the 2 first measures. I'm going to copy that, get to measure number 3 and paste it all there. Now obviously I don't want to play my bass line in A minor, but in F major. So to switch the pitch of all the MIDI notes, I'm going to make sure I have selected my 3 notes. I click on one of them, any of them, I hold and I drag it down until I got an F note on string number 3. Now if you take a look at the G♯2 note we have now on string number 2, that note is going to sound a bit weird because the song is in A minor and G♯2 is not part of the A minor scale. So let's change the pitch to an A2. And for that E3 note we have on string number 1, though it's part of the scale of A minor, I think the bass riff will sound better with an F3 note. Alright, now second bass line I have designed for the chorus, which is a bit more complex but kind of funky, so check it out. Alright, so in Riffer, just insert a note on the lowest string, drag it up until you got an A1 note, and extend it until position 1.1.4. Then insert a note on the third string and make sure it's an E2 note. Up next, at position 1.2, we're going to generate a nice articulation. So just click on the FX line and you get a slap left, which is going to add some groove to the bass line. And you can decrease that velocity down to 40. At position 1.2.3, we're going to insert an A2 note on the second string. So just click and drag it up until you find that note, the A2 note. Then insert a B2 note right after the A2 and extend it until half the way between the third and the fourth beat. And as those two notes are really close on the fretboard, we can hammer the B2 note to give the bass line a nice dose of realism. So click on the A2 note, go to the legato menu and select HO/PO, which is hammer on, pull off. And that sign that now appears above the A2 note means that the B2 note will be hammered, which is going to affect the way it sounds. Up next, at position 1.3.2, we're going to copy and paste that slap left articulation we programmed a bit earlier. So we're going to duplicate it and change it to a slap right. And to close the measure, we're going to have a fast A2 note, half a bit, and we're going to duplicate it. Now, for the second measure, we can select the four first sequences we have in measure number 1, copy them, and paste them at position 2.1. And then we're going to extend that A2 note a bit to the right. And as a transition to the third measure, we're going to have a fast G1 note, half a bit too. Then we copy that and we paste it at position 2.4. Now measure number 3 and measure number 4. So as we did for the introduction, we're going to select all the sequences we have in the two first measures. We're going to copy and paste them at position 3.1. Now what we want is to play the second part of the bass line in F, alright? Everything but those two MIDI notes, G1 and G1. Those two notes are transition notes, so we want to keep them unchanged. So a little trick for you: if you hold Command or Control and if you click on two notes, it's going to remove them from the selection. And that is great. Why? Because then we just need to click on the first A1 note and drag it all down until we get an F1 note at the start of measure number 3. And voila, we have the bass line. Now let's have a look at the new amp section. So we can click on the preset menu down there and we can go with the Dream Come True preset, which is kind of cool for that song. Then in the effects section, we can load another preset provided by Ample Sound. And for that bass line, I'd go with the electronic bass folder and select the first preset in the list, which, as you can see, is going to boost the highs and temper the lows, which is kind of cool. Then for the introduction, you can design a little echo if you want, and in the reverb section, I'd select the whole preset since there is no drums in the background. But if you add drums to the track, you might want to mute the reverb because it's going to sound a bit messy. And well, I think that's all for the bass. Alright, so let's have a look at the guitar riff. So to program it in Riffer, you can double click on the strumming line at position 1.1. It's going to generate a C major chord, but we say we wanted to start with an A minor. So just go to the chord menu, select A, change the shape of the chord from major to minor, and go with position 2. Now let's extend the chord until position 1.1.4, and right there you can copy and paste the A minor. But this time we're going to change the way it is strummed by the hands of the virtual guitarist. We do not want it to be played downward, but we want it to be strummed upward. And if you have watched my tutorial on how to make an Ample Guitar VST sound realistic, you may know that when you play a chord upward, the guitarist may miss some of the lower strings. So select the A1 and the E2 MIDI notes and just delete them. Now at position 1.2, click on the FX line, go to the articulation menu and select Silent Slap. Up next, click on the FX line again, but this time go with an upstroke noise. Right after, copy and paste the A minor, but extend the chord until position 1.4. And right there, just paste it again, but reduce the value of the chord so it only lasts half a bit. Then copy and paste those two little articulations and use them to close the first measure. So second measure now, we need to copy the first 5 sequences of measure number 1 and paste them at position 2.1. Then we're going to decrease the length of the third A minor, so it stops at position 2.3. And right there, we're going to generate another chord, not a C major, but a G major. And we need to be played in position number 3. It needs to last half a bit, and then we are going to insert an articulation, which is going to be a silent press that will mute the notes of the G major. Then select the last 2 sequences and paste them at position 2.4. Now, as we did with the bass line, we can select every sequences we have in the first 2 measures, copy them and paste them in the 2 last measures. Then we select all the chords in measure number 3 and 4. We unselect the last 2 ones, okay, the 2 G major, and we drag that all down to get an F major. Okay, that will be the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, well, you can hit the like button. You can also subscribe to the channel because more content on Ample Sound VSTs is on the way. Then if you want to support the channel, you can visit my band's website, yugenmusic.com, and subscribe to the newsletter so you do not miss any future release. And if you appreciate the tutorials and the contents shared on this channel, well, you do not hesitate to share our music with your friends and on your social media pages. And if you want more resources on how to play with an Ample Sound Guitar VST, you can check out those 2 videos which will teach you the basics of Strummer and Riffer. So I hope you enjoyed the video and see you next time.